Hello guys, this is Ronak and this is my seventh day of I speak and you don't judge. So let's start by summarizing yesterday. Yesterday, Minakshi ma'am took our session about the pattern recognition, like how we store data in our mind or connections, only if for longer term, only if they are connected somehow. We try to find pattern in that and store that in our mind so we can access them again. If we unable to find any connections, we will not able to store that for longer duration. So I'll speak more about it later. So let's move to code assassin. It was amazing as usual. We had fun. We solved question. We talked about some things. Amazing. So after that, so after that, uh, the session was ended. I got some time on my end. I read some things. So let me start with pattern recognition. First of all, let me tell how I store things in my memory. I try to form a story based on the data I got and try to connect them. So if someone gave me something data, I will try to form a story based on that. Of course, I have to find a connection for that to happen. Then I store in that form. So it of course stays longer. So it helps. So what I learned yesterday is how Uber handles its backend. Like we all know Uber is one of the best companies to book online cabs and all. So I had a curiosity how it handles things. Like there are million of user booking ride, there are million of requests. How does it handles? So I got to learn how it exactly handles things. So instead of every 30 second, instead of every SSE, which is server side events, instead of giving request to client and server every once in a while, like in every interval of 30 second, let's say, instead of asking if I got any update, no. If I got any update, no. If I got any update, no. Instead of doing this, they build their own SSE, which is ramen. Not the eating one, ramen, its name. Real asynchronous messaging events. Like it handles all the event in a like it handles like what to push, when to push, why to push. Like sorry, how to push, not why to push. Of course, why we know the answer is why. So it handles like what to push. What events should I push to the clients? Then why, how to push? How will I push? What requests I have to push, and what, why, and when. It consider times like when should I push this? Should I do it every 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, whatever the time interval is? Still, it was impacting the server. Like it was unidirectional flow, first of all. Like only client can send the events, like SSE, server side events. Ramen was built on top of that to reduce time complexity. It reduced it too much. However, there's still one thing, like I should, the flow of the request is from server to the client. Like this is the server, this is the client. Only server can send the client. Client can't request for anything from the server. So that was the issue. The updating of the location on the map, that was the issue. Like if I move, the server will send, then I will know, oh, I moved. So that was the issue. So what they did was introduce gRPC. It's an you can say it transformed the unidirectional flow to the bidirectional flow. Like client and server both communicate to each other, knowing, asking for the data and everything. Ramen is still there, handling over everything. They built gRPC for that to handle requests. So instead of like pushing and asking for data every time, it only asks in interval of times, and if something changes on either side, like if something changes on server side, it will push the data. If something changes on client side, it will push the data. So yeah, that. And also like how they find the riders and users. Like if I divide everything in a grid, then let's say 4 blocks around the user is the location, like every taxi, every cab around that location is pushed to the client that yeah, you have these options, you can book. But there was a diagonal bias, like in square the diagonal are more in length than if you move up, down, or left, right. The length of the diagonal is too much. So to avoid that, they introduced their open source thing. Open source, I'm focusing on open source because it was a great, like it's something great. H3. I forgot the full form. Sorry for that. You can search that. Here, they instead of dividing everything in grid, they placed hexagons. Like in hexagon, every distance is equidistance. It is known. So they introduced hexagon instead of, and they said it like rings, K1, K2, like first ring, second ring. So they introduced that so everything can be done easily and every distance will be equal. So yeah, to reduce cost of the drivers, of course. So yeah, and we also know like Uber still works in low network area, like low latency. Why? Because they predict the path, like they take a path, like which direction the driver is going. They pick that, they update the data based on its last known position, speed, distance. So even if the request comes late, it will still be ready for that. Like it still predicted the path. Even if the request came late from the driver side, the endpoint it hit is late, still it will cover it. Like the position already changed. It will just just compute some minute changes in that, like what distance I missed or what distance I covered extra. It will change that, and that's all. So that's how Uber works. You can, of course, read it in detail if you want. Thank you for today. Bye bye.